Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Wednesday, 14th of December. In a nutshell, the 4,000, if it became support, we look at the bullish count. If the 4,000 becomes the resistance, then we look at the bearish count. That's how I'm approaching it. And normally it's quite sort of simple getting support on a large number, but we're getting all these little highs here. They haven't lured us into being on the long side yet. The reason for that is because if I use this as an example here, the market's moved up here. I don't chase the breakout. I wait for the retest, and the retest has got to confirm and then take out the top here. So it needs to confirm and then confirming by taking the top out. And it hasn't done that at all here. So and it still hasn't done it with this particular one here as well. So we don't have that tested support on this 4,000 just yet. However, we're expecting the market to push up yesterday, but I wasn't expecting it to make a new high. Anything is possible. So the CPI figures by the rumor sell the fact. And the other point that we need to make while we're on the news for that, we've got, I don't think the petroleum figures will do much for the markets tomorrow, but they are obviously important for other, inflation reasons. But the FOMC at 2 p.m. ET time, that's going to obviously, I think it's going to be a little bit the same actually. I think it could be a situation where we'll see a push up by the rumor sell the fact, that kind of thing. I think that's going to, and we're going to end back up at the 4,000 again. I think we're going to be something like that. And then the Fed chair press conference is at 2:30 after the FOMC announcement. But we know pretty much what the Feds are saying. They've been sticking to the narrative like Errol died. So, the other point too is that, we're moving into Wednesday and Thursday, which we normally call the swing days in the market, being bullish or bearish. And we've got jobless claims on 8:30 on AM ET time. And the Philly Fed's manufacturing index, and the retail sales as well. And we kind of can guess what the retail sales will be like, but it's all about expectations, isn't it, really, and what figures are met. But there's a fair bit of news to come out. We're still sticking to the 4,000, so I think we're going to be here for a little while. I don't think that we need to make any sort of rash decisions. We're going to go in and have a look at the situation. But I must say that because of this particular spike up here, taking this top out here, what it does do is it makes the whole market a little bit more to the bullish side than to the bearish side. We've been looking at this as wave 1 to the upside or wave B to the upside here. So wave B would produce 5 waves to the downside here. We can't rule that out just yet because the wave B could just make one more little high over here. We could look at this as 1, 2, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here for the B wave. And then we could come down at that point. So it's not over until the big lady sings. So we just need to be a little bit more patient about that. So that would be this move. We'll be looking at the bullish side a little bit more today than the bearish side, but the bullish side can have this as wave 1 to the upside here, or we can have wave 1 over here for this move here. And that means that I don't need to put that wave 1 there. I'm just going to delete that. That's the pleasure I have. So I could put this as an A wave here. If we don't make a new high here, then we're left with 3 waves up here, right? So that would be a B wave at that point, and that would make, and if it's going to be a B wave, eventually we're going to take the top out here anyway. So if we don't take the news out on the Fed's comments, and we end up coming down, breaking below the 4,000 or overlapping this top of wave 1 here, or wave A, whichever way you want to look at that. Once that's breached, then we'll end up with this C wave here. But because this is in 3 waves here, that would be corrective. that means at some point in the future we would be taking this top out here, and this in this little, if this market just continues to, if this market, right, if this market continues to come down here in this space here, and we're left with 3 waves here, we'll be looking to go long and building in longs all through this little space here, because we know that we'll be taking that top out. There's a good chance that it can just keep on going at that point, which I think is really interesting. So having this little spanner in the works here is actually just flipped it over to the bullish side, given the, well, I was kind of 80% bullish anyway, but it just makes it a little bit more so at this point, which, you know, is good. And, you know, either way, I'm happy with either way. I mean, I prefer to be bullish in a way because, you know, I don't want any big devastation throughout the world. That's just horrible. Too many people suffer. Yeah, so that's that. So we're just going to go in and have a look at the bullish count, really. We're going to have a little look at this here. Like this move down from the top here is in 3 waves. Now, when you're looking at futures markets or option markets or CFD markets, any derivative market, they can be different from the cash market, but the cash market is something that is worth following a little bit, and might sound a little bit, let me just get this into perspective. This is just, I think it's barchart.com. Oh, big charts, right? I've always just sort of liked it for looking at indices on you know, 1 minute and 5 minutes. It's just something that I've just done for years and years, and it just gives a very simple, clean, I can trust their data and all those sort of things. I'm not pitching it, not telling you to go there. I don't make money off sending anybody anywhere. I just don't do that. But what back to the point is that from the top here, the S&P has got this top here over this. Now, on some of the markets, like the Dow Jones and that, this here is the top up here. But on the SPX, this is the top. And I can count down here. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I can see that, I can see here that we've got the A wave, the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave here, the fourth and the fifth. So we don't have 5 waves down in this leg here. We only have 3 waves down to this leg. I can push this across over here. That's what the data looks like over there. But the main takeaway here is that this move here is in 3 waves at this point. So I think that's interesting. So that means that this move down here, we should view it as 3 waves at this point. While it stays above, let's say where it is now, the 4,000, we can have a closer look. But with the news events tomorrow, if we do get that move up there, then that will give us 5 waves up of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up there. So the difference between 5 waves and 3 waves up here is going to make a little bit of a difference, okay? Now, some markets are weaker than others, and when if you have a look at the stocks video today, I mean, the stocks video, the stocks, the US stocks, for quite some time, we've had some of them bullish and some of them bearish. You know, we've been short on Tesla, and that's been bearish, and we've done well out of that. Other stocks we've known, like Nvidia and anyway, there's a handful of them there that have been on the bullish side, have been trending up. So there's been a bit of a mixed bag with them all. So I haven't really been able to establish a really good lead out of, I normally look for some sort of consensus out of the stocks to be bullish or bearish, but I'm just not getting that. So it's made it a little bit difficult coming back and looking at this market, because obviously this is a bit of a moving average of it, and this, you know, doing all of this here is a bit of a rock and a hard place, really. And but I know that if we're patient here, and we have been patient, and we just need to continue to be patient, because it will come out in the wash and we'll get it at the right time. So we don't have to push buttons and panic and so on. But you know, we can do little trades on the way. We're talking about being bullish here yesterday. I was long myself, but I didn't catch the jump. I was already out by that. I just took my piece of the cake and left. Yeah. So but let's go in and have a look. We're going to have a look at we've been looking at the bearish side of things, so we're not going to look at that today because we've got this little spike up here. We're going to look at the bullish side, so we're going to look at 20, 10 and 5 and just have a bit of a chat about all of this, right? But I can tell you that we'll have to, if we're going to find a trade out of this to be long or short, it's going to come Thursday afternoon, and hopefully we can catch it Thursday afternoon and ride that, surf that through to through Friday and Monday. Hopefully, you know, things don't always pan out, but we know Wednesday and Thursdays are swing days, and they've also got announcements in there as well. That's all part of the process. So let's see how we come out of the washing machine when in the final rinse. So let's just cruise in here. We're going to look at a couple of bullish counts because I said we have a bullish count 2 here as wave 1 with an ABC back for wave 2, and then we've also got wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C coming back here and then moving off as well. So we've got a few things to look at. 20k ticks here. So this is one possible count, where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, an A wave, a B wave and a C wave. Now obviously, you know, we just had a look at the cash market, the physical market. This move down here is basically in 3 waves. It would need to turn into 5 waves, so we would need to see a move down to here, and if that was the case, we made a new low here, then we could look at all of this as wave 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here in this case. And then that becomes interesting because we'll be looking, well, we have to be careful because, as I mentioned on the bearish side, this can be, well, we'll still need another move up here if that was going to be the case. So yeah, it would be pretty safe here, so we can look to build in over here on this. So hopefully Wednesday and Thursday give us grief here, and then we can look to buy Thursday afternoon session and start to move up on the Friday and the Monday and push up higher here. That would be nice. If that's, I don't know if that's going to happen. Things need to fall into place, that's all. So this is one way to count it up here in a bullish manner, right? The other way I think is on the 10k tick chart. So in this instance, I need, just move that. We need this here as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. It hasn't overlapped wave 1 here, so it needs to really hold in here and then have a move up here somewhere, you know, in 5 waves. And then we can look for the ABC pattern. And there's a lot of stocks, you know, that have got this here as an ABC pattern, and that will probably push higher. So there's half that will and half that won't in the stock market. So that's why it makes it a little bit sort of tricky. But this is just another way to count the bullish count. But what it does do, it tells us that we've got time as well, because if we get this up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, we're going to get some sort of pullback here anyway. We'll either get the A, the B and the C, or I mean, I suppose it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. That's possible. Anyway, we won't miss it. We'll see it. But we just need, for the time being, we just need to be a little bit patient on this. So they're the two bullish counts that we've got at this point. There's probably a couple more ways to do it, but I don't want to confuse it any more than I have to. It won't make much difference at the end of the day at this point in time. So on the 5k tick here, we go back to, well, we stay at this one here really. So we still need, in this case, we'd still need this wave 5 to move up there. I mean, because yesterday, as you know, we were looking at this coming down here. We're looking for an A and a B and a C wave up here. So it's just gone above here and taken that out, which has changed the whole thing a little bit, you know. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually push up from there and make another wave at that point. That's the thing. And once that's in there, come what may, we can go long above that. But we're looking at either an A wave coming down at that point, so we can put this. I can just grab that one there and change that a little bit, give it a bit of gravity. So we can look at it like this. I'm just going to, and then the ABC back for wave 2, so that would be like that. But if this went 1 and 2 here, for example, and then 1 and 2 here, and then went up here and gave us 5 waves here, then anything above those 5 waves we can go long on, just to let you know. So we're either going to get that, or we're going to get the other side of this, was just to come down here. That would give us 5 waves down at that point, and we'd need to wait for the cash market to open to get that. And then we would have a 3-wave move back up here, and then we'd have down here for 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 down to here. And in this case, that would give us, that would change the dynamics of having this wave 1 over here, and having this A wave here, this B wave here, and a C wave over here. And if that's the case, this would make life a little bit easier here, because we have that B wave there. Then that means that we would end up taking that top out here in one way or another. So this is the one that we want. We want to see that drop down in the off hours would be very helpful, and stay down there until Europe and US open up. So we'll see if see what Asia does at this point. I haven't had a chance to look at the rest of the world in that regard. But that's the S&P. That's the game we got going so far. So we don't need to do anything. We just need to observe it and put a bit of thought into it, and yeah, and we'll catch it on the rebound. I think the NASDAQ's interesting because it was also too, like, well, I looked at it, I try to be, you know, it's got beautiful support here at the 11,500, which is a medium level. So it's halfway between 10 and 13, which are major levels. 13 comes from, we use the Fibonacci as a price relationship. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, but we don't really use 21, we use 20, so we use the power of 10. So when we go 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, then we go back to 1 again, use the power of 10. So 1, and then 13, and then 20 up here would be the next one. 10, 20, 30, that sort of price ratio there. But anyway, that's where the 11,500 comes in. It's a bit of a weird thing, but it's a bit like the 65 number. It's but anyway, it's good to know it, you know. $11.50 in stocks and those sorts of things. So it has migrated from being it's been resistance, and then it's migrated over being support at this point. So that's good. And now that it's just taken out the top here, because I had this as the A wave, the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the C wave here, so for the B wave, right? But because we got that spike there, I don't have the B wave now. The only other way I could have the B wave here is if I would still need to get one more move up here, because I've got to play things out to the end. I could put this over here as a wave 4. I could do some sort of, you know, A wave, A, B, C for the B wave, and down for the C wave for wave 4, and then have wave 5 sitting over here for the C wave over here, and then that would be the top of it there, and then we would come down from that point. So we've got to play that out a bit. So in a way, if that is the case, then in a way we could go long above that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If 5 waves happen there, that would be the peak of this here. Then we're free to go at that point. Okay, so that's just one sort of scenario that we need to really just accommodate to move past any possible corrective move to the downside. In this case here, it's a little bit hard to count this up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for this in this case, because we've got an overlap there. So in this case, if we're going to be bullish, it would be wave 1 and 2, and then somewhere over here we could look for 1 and 2 over here perhaps. We can do it in different ways, but that's what would have to look. So there's still a 50-50 bet here with this particular situation. So we'll just allow this to play out a bit further. We don't need to do anything here today. So I'll just put this back here because in case I forget where I am, but we're going to also just copy that there and put that there. So we just need to move past this. Let's see what we get. Okay, but it does sort of, it was just another little sort of half a tick on the bullish side with this particular thing happening, but we don't want to get lured in unless we have a stronger case for being bullish at that point. So in the stronger case would be looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. And even if it was the other way around of 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2, then we'd still end up with 5 waves up here somewhere. Anything above 5 waves we can go long, even if the 5 waves only don't even take the top out here, they only go up here somewhere, you know, we can still go long above that. So we're going to be looking at that tomorrow. So we're looking for the bigger trend within all of this, but we just need to be tread lightly. We don't need to rush in, so to speak. So that's the NASDAQ. I won't go into the intraday. It's the same sort of thing here. If it drops down here lower, that's good news. Yeah, that's very good news if it drops down here lower. If it just drops down here lower, then it's going to go back here, and then we're going to have those 5 waves down here. So that will be good. Just good. Okay. The Russell. This Russell on the futures here is a little bit tricky in some regards. First of all, you know, this is the low over here, right? But on the cash market, the physical market, this is the low. I've been looking it up as, well, I'll just go all the way up to the B wave here, right? From this low here as an ABC for the A wave, the B wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a C wave of A and a B and a C wave here. Obviously, you can count that differently as well, but we've never made a new top. It's always just sort of lingered lower all the time. So we've been looking at it bearish. Yesterday when we spoke, we were looking at this coming up into the box here. Obviously it's shot through there. Probably may have even gapped through there. I don't know. Haven't looked at it that closely, but we were looking for a short trade here because this was the weakest. You may or may not be short in this particular market. I'll just let you sort of handle that. If you wanted to play it safe, then you would take say 50% or 60% off here and then keep the stop just about here somewhere above that bar. So and then just hope for the best at this point. But this market is a little bit different than the other markets. Now we could look at this, I've got 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. We could look at this as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here for this. But I don't think that's the case either, because, well, first of all, here, this was different from the US, from the other markets, because here we were counting this down as 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we've got, it counts down. See, the other markets don't count down. The S&P didn't make a new low below here for its previous low, wave 3 here. And then we were looking for the ABC pattern up here. Because we had 5 waves here, we could short in the box. That was the thing, you know. So what we need to see now is that if this comes down here, makes another low below here, for instance, right, then we'd get some sort of ABC pattern here. You could probably even count that down as 5 waves now, actually. But I can have a look at that in a minute, maybe. But what I wanted to do is, I just wanted you to have a look at this here. You know, there's just some weird things going on. So the things to notice is that this is not a high over this one, but in the cash market, I think it is. And this low here. So there's a few different things. So I'm just going to go to, just bear with me a second. So this is the Russell 2000 here. I'm just trying to count it up as a positive way, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. From the previous high here to the low here, it's come back to the 61.8% is in here somewhere. The market's come down. It makes a nice ABC pattern here. But when I look at the other market, so this here is the Russell 3000. So this is not lower here. This is higher here, you know. And it's got a very clear low here for this on the 3000. And then when I go to the 1000, yeah, Russell 1000, it's the same as well. So it's got a different top, and the bottom is much clearer here. So yeah, just to point that out. So just coming back to this market a little bit. So this is the high on the 1,000 and the 3,000. I think that's sort of a bit interesting. But on the cash market, we got this as a low, but on the futures, it's not. So when you're doing the wave counts, it's much easier to do the counts on the cash market, you know, like the SPX and all that. But I don't do the counts on those markets most of the time because you're not trading that market. You're trading the futures market or the E-minis or a CFD or something else, you know, a derivative or something of in some nature. So yeah, so it's a bit of a false lead, but it is important to double, you know, to confer and double check all the time with these things. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, and we will investigate that a little bit further as well. So if I just go, I just want to have a look at this because it looks like 5 waves to me at this point. So let's just go into 100. I think I did check this actually. Oh yes, I've actually done some homework. So it's a little bit different. We've got this as the high here, so we can look at this as 1 with an A and a B and a C here for this, you know, or do we look at this as the A, B and C here for wave 4 and this up for wave 5 as a truncated 5th wave here. So a couple of things like that. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I can count 4 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave, A, B, C for the 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So I can count 5 waves down here. But the thing is that you know, we can continue with this, but the thing is that you need to understand that the other markets will play their part as well. But I just wanted to put this in here together. So in this here, we've got we can look at this as I don't know if I can look at that, how I'm going to look at that here, but it's either that high or that high. I haven't got time to look at it at the moment. But so we're looking for the 3rd wave, 4th wave and 5th wave. That will give you a little bit of guidance. So anything past the 5th wave, which can come to the 50, that's the 62% at the 1850, where the next, there's blocks of supply. This is a block of supply, right? And then the next block of supply starts here on these lows here. So it will, you know, this is why this is being pushed back down because of those guys, you know. But this will push it again and test these and probably blow them out, and then all run. Once these are blown out, then there's see how they got a fast run here, because the markets just mirror itself. So this will be a fast. Once it gets past this one here, once it gets support on the 1830, the next level, the top of group 1, it will run pretty quickly to the 1850 there. So if you're short, you might want to take some money off the table here, or get out, or do whatever you need to do. I don't know, but yeah, that's where we're at the moment with it. So it depends on how you want to look at this high here, this one or this one. Because if it's this one, then we just got an ABC down here, you know. Okay, so that's that, and the Dow Jones. So I wanted to have a look at the daily chart for the Dow because we haven't seen it for a while, and it's a little bit like the S&P at the top here. So this has been one of the stronger markets, of course. When we looked at the Russell, for example, just then, between that high and this high, it was up at 61.8%. So the Dow's been really quite strong. There's other markets around the world like this. Even Goldman Sachs is up here testing its old highs as well. And, you know, the industrials are up here. You know, well, this is the industrials, isn't it? So the sector we looked at before. Anyway, I'm not sure how to configure the top here because it's a little bit like the S&P 500. We've got that move up through here. I don't know if we're going to get 5 waves up, another little move up here, or we're going to come down from this point, and we'll look at it in various ways. So, but this is one of the things that we're looking for. I mean, I'm in Australia, and this is one of the things that we're looking at, the same move up here. Even if it's 5 waves up here, right? Even if it is five waves, we can look at all of this as an A and a B and a C, and that's the end of the correction to the downside. We can look at this as wave 1 and then back for wave 2, and then we move up for wave 3 here. It's either that or we need to look at this here as an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave up here for the B wave, and then we come down for a larger move over here. This is something we're contemplating in Australia for the Australian banks and Australian resources, and its index, and there's a few other examples of this around the world as well. Even though they come up high, yeah, we'll see. We're not going to miss much anyway, because whatever happens is that obviously we need to wait to see if we get a move up here first or we get a move down. If we get a move down here, then we know we've got a wave 4 or 2, and then we can move up from that point. We'll trade that up. But even when we get up to here, and if that's the top at that point, then we'll still get an ABC pattern back. We need to get this move up through here. You know, it's this is likely to be a wave 4 really if it pulls back into this point in here. And this is where we can go long at this point anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to have a look at the bigger picture and let you know that I still need to resolve the top here, but I'll be able to do that once I know what's in a day or two when that sorts itself out. So we've been on the 5k here, so let's go into the 5k, and yeah, so we've got that. I've got it in two different ways, so it's a little bit confusing really. So I can have wave 1 over here like the SP500, and I can go down for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave over here for wave 2, right? Or we push up here further, and we look at this as wave 1 and 2, which is a bit of a struggle because it just nips out the bottom here, but I'll need to check the cash market for that as well. Maybe you can do that. It still doesn't matter, but as an A wave and a B wave, the B wave can take the bottom out, so it doesn't really matter, an A and a B and a C for the B wave. Yeah, so it's a bit reluctant that this one's going to move up there. Let me just have a look at the cash market while I'm here. Sorry, I haven't looked at that, but I think the DJI was up here. Let's just, what is this? Is this not some CFD thing, is it? In see here, this hasn't made a new low below here, so it's only on the futures or you know, other derivatives. So we're still left with it still can be wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here for this. So I don't know. Let's just let it resolve itself. But like I said, if it moves down from here, if it moves basically doesn't make a new high here and moves down, then that's a good thing because we'll be going long when it gets down the bottom here. We'll be able to go up there, probably cover that gap or something like that at 331 or something. So anyway, that's sort of interesting at that point. So anyway, let's just see how the cookie crumbles, and then we'll pick it up from that point. This could be 5 waves down here. This looks like the same as Russell. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and ABC back up here. So you might be able to short that. Looks like little 5 waves here. So yeah, somewhere back up into here maybe. And while some of these markets could make new highs above here, and some won't. You know, and that's because I'm getting that from the stock market. So I don't know what the indices are going to be doing at this point. We'll see. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. I didn't really have any answers, but it's just nice to talk about it and let that sort of sink in and mull over. But I don't think we need to do anything until, I think our strategy will be trading late Thursday afternoon and hoping to catch the beginning of a trend somewhere. And we will hold on to that through Friday and Monday. Alrighty, cheers.